This is one of the most wobbly figures out there. Among all price and skill figures, I mean, when you shake this thing, even just a bit, the thing will be bouncing around. Hi everyone and welcome back to Exkurogane Blog and Photography. I'm Steven and I'm back from a 3-month absence from YouTube. The reason for my absence can be summed up with a very simple word, which is a burnout. The recent week or two, things have gotten a bit better, so I'm back here making videos for YouTube. Though I'm not really in the mood for doing any photography work yet. Anyways, due to my absence, I have a lot of figures awaiting review. It's not like I've stopped buying them at all, just that I haven't been creating content. But let's begin with this figure for today's review, the first review for year 2022. This is the rider class of Leonardo Da Vinci, a servant in the 5th Grand Order franchise, made by Sega under their SPM series of prize figures, which is one of their better product lines. So you can expect this figure right here to be rather well made despite being a prize figure. Also, if not mistaken, this is the very first figure of Da Vinci ever made, regardless of which figure manufacturer, which brand out there, the very first one. So this is a very interesting fact because Da Vinci, from what I'm aware of, has always been a very popular character in the Fate franchise. Yet somehow no one bothered to make a figure of her. Seems like things are about to change because Kotobukiya does have a scale figure of her coming soon, and you bet I'm going to buy one of those as well. Of course, with the Fate franchise, everything is gender bent, so it is no surprise that Leonardo da Vinci, originally an Italian man, is a female in the Fate series in 5th Grand Order. Also, the Da Vinci we saw in the 5th Grand Order anime adaptations, that is the adult version of Leonardo da Vinci, and that is a caster class servant. The rider class version of Da Vinci has a different physical appearance, a child version of Da Vinci, or we shall call it the lolly version of Da Vinci, which is what we're getting over here. It is different from the one we see in the anime. Being a prize figure, it also means that she is very affordable, can be had for between anywhere $20 to $25 depending on where you look. Starting off with the sculpt, I am very happy with the sculpt of this prize figure from head to toe. There are not much problems to report. Her face, the face of a figure, what I care the most, very accurately replicated over here, resembles the actual character design in the original artwork. So top marks for the prize figure, especially the face area. But there is one problem with this figure, and that is at the left arm over here. If you pay attention to her left arm around the arm cuff area, there is a huge seam line on her left arm. No longer just a seam line, I would call this a big gaping hole. And this is mostly down to manufacturing errors, and every copy of this figure will have the same problem. This is not the first time I'm seeing this in a Sega prize figure. Marsh Curelite, which I have reviewed before in the past, has the same exact problem, also on the left arm, but the difference is that the arm on Marsh Curelite, her left arm is removable, not the case with this figure of Da Vinci. Other than this left arm, which I think is the largest issue of this figure, when we look at the paint job of this figure of Da Vinci, I would say excellent work coming from Sega. There are not much faults to find. Just look at her roller skater boots, or even her backpack. Very impressive amounts of detail without any paint defects coming from a prize figure, and it makes me very happy. If not for the huge gap in her left arm, this would have been the perfect price figure for the money. The only paint flaw I can find with this figure is the gold trim around her red skirt. Yes, there is some paint bleeding going on, but to be fair, most price figures do have this problem to some extent, and even some expensive scales also have this problem. So I would cut Sega some slack with this specific part of this figure. One more thing about the sculpt I forgot to mention about this figure is a lack of mold lines. Usually price figures, you can see a mold line down the sides of the figure along the arm and the legs. You can't really see it in this figure. It is there, but you can't really see it unless you shine the figure under a light source like my studio light and just adjust the angles so that you can review the mold lines. So it takes some effort to find those mold lines, or otherwise you can't really see them. One last thing is regarding the support of this figure. 2 large holes on the back of a left thigh. Not everyone is going to like this, but I do not mind it as much for a price figure. Because this is a price figure, for cost cutting reasons, you are not going to get a metal rod, you get a plastic one instead. Plastic means flexibility, and as a result, this is one of the most wobbly figures I've seen yet, even among all price and scale figures combined. Very wobbly, the figure will be bouncing around just from a slight shaking. Please do not do what I just did in the starting part of this video. You are going to break the plastic rod for sure. That was meant for entertainment purposes only. So we have come to the end of this review. Is this a worthy purchase for Fate Grand Order fans? And the answer is an absolute yes. Kotobukiya is coming up with a proper scale figure of this rider class Da Vinci, and I'm very pleased about it. I will buy one for sure. But for those of you who can't afford a $160 scale figure, this is a very solid option to go for. You won't regret buying it. That is all for the review today. Thank you very much for watching. And please do subscribe to this channel if you liked this review. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you guys again soon. Goodbye.